Chào mừng quý vị và các bạn đến với chương trình Tôi và Việt Nam trên kênh truyền hình FPNC. Và trong chương trình ngày hôm nay, xin được giới thiệu vị khách mời là anh Neil MacGregor, là giám đốc điều hành của công ty cung cấp dịch vụ bất động sản Savills Việt Nam. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, so Neil, could you first of all give us the big pictures of the Vietnam real estate market at this moment?
Yeah. I think we're entering a very exciting period for the Vietnam real estate market. We've had a very tough 2 or 3 years where market sales have been very slow, prices have been depressed, but we're now at the bottom of the market, entering a period of solid growth. That growth could extend for 5 years or longer. So it's a very exciting period for anybody involved in the real estate market. That extends across sectors. Residential is very much on a growth pattern. We've seen absorption rates, sales rates pick up dramatically, particularly in Ho Chi Minh City, but it's also occurring in Hanoi. Hanoi is perhaps 6 months behind Ho Chi Minh City.
What is the reason for that lacking?
Hanoi had a bit more oversupply in the residential sector in particular than Ho Chi Minh. So it's going to take them a little bit longer to see the full recovery take place. The office market is also seeing a turnaround in Ho Chi Minh City. And after a period of fairly slow growth in tourist numbers and domestic travellers, we're seeing an uptick in hospitality business as well. Hotels are doing much better than they were, say, a year ago. And industrials may be the real success story, where manufacturing businesses are starting to see much stronger order books from the recovering US market in particular, and to a lesser extent Europe. So again, that will drive demand in the residential sector and perhaps to a lesser extent the retail sector
pretty good
as well.
news.
Yep.
So we are moving up from the bottom.
Yep.
So specifically, what is the opportunity for investors in each segment?
Yeah. So we see growing interest from investors in operating assets. So these are institutional type investors looking for a strong cash flow. They're looking for rental yield from those properties. So that might be office buildings, it could be hotels, it might be retail centers. And we're seeing demand both from local investors as well as foreign investors.
For international investors, what seem to be the typical challenges or barriers for them when they look to invest in Vietnam?
The primary barrier that we see is a lack of stock. So we have a huge number of foreign investors calling us saying, we like Vietnam, we like the story, are there assets available for us to purchase? And that is the biggest challenge, is actually finding existing buildings for these investors to purchase.
So how can they look for opportunity then? How can they
So what typically happens is they start looking for those operating assets. They realize that it's challenging and there are not that many assets available, and they then move into development. So development's the plan B, if you like, and they then start to look for available land. The challenge with finding available land is that it has clear ownership, that it has clear title to the land, and that there are not any issues between shareholders, clearance and compensation issues. So the site is in fact ready for development. If they can find those type of sites, then they are ready to go ahead with development. And that can be in the office sector, also of course in the residential sector as well.
And where are they from usually?
A variety of locations. We're seeing strong demand from Japanese investors at the moment. That's on the back of very strong Japanese interest in manufacturing as well. Singaporeans continue to be very interested in the market. Singaporeans perhaps more from a development perspective rather than operating assets. There's still good demand from Hong Kong, or money being transferred through Hong Kong from perhaps further afield in the US or Europe.
What are some of the key elements that affect the property prices in Vietnam?
I think like any market, location.
Yeah, we heard that a lot. Right?
Location is obviously critical, and that brings into play infrastructure as well. So the infrastructure is changing very rapidly in Vietnam. So connectivity, accessibility for any development project is very important, and that will drive pricing. The quality of the underlying asset, but something that Savills are very passionate about, of course, property management, and a well-managed property or a property that buyers believe is going to be well managed will always achieve better pricing than a property that has not looked at the ongoing property management aspects. So I think location, the underlying quality of the asset, and property management going forward all have a significant impact on pricing.
I'll get back to that metro project after a short break. Thank you so much for sharing. Thưa quý vị, vừa rồi là những chia sẻ của anh Neil MacGregor, là giám đốc điều hành của công ty cung cấp dịch vụ bất động sản Savills Việt Nam. Quý vị có thể xem lại chương trình trên website fbnc.vn hoặc là gửi góp ý cũng như là đặt câu hỏi góp ý cho chương trình của chúng tôi qua địa chỉ Facebook tại địa chỉ là facebook.com/MC Trần Quốc Khánh.